This is the North Mobile Post Radio Show, and I am your host, David Merrill. The big story continues to be Tropical Storm Isaac. As of the 11 p.m. Eastern Time update last night, the storm was packing 70-mile-per-hour winds. The central pressure was at 979 millibars, and it was moving northwest at 10 miles an hour. Now, the storm has slowed down. It was moving at 14 a couple of days ago. It dropped down to 12 earlier yesterday, and by nightfall it was down to 10. So this thing is slowing down, and it is expected to be a hurricane probably by this morning's update at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. And with this slowing down, this is bad news, as it's expected to make landfall in Louisiana, and they are projecting that this thing could hit Louisiana with hurricane conditions for up to 24 hours, which would just be a ton of rain, a ton of surge. While officials are confident that the levees will hold in New Orleans this time around, they've fixed them up. It's all fixed. Just all that rain and that surge in other areas is going to be deadly. If you see, it's a bayou. There's just water everywhere in Louisiana. This is the Delta region, where the mouth of the Mississippi River. And it is going to be a bad situation. Everyone needs to be out of there if you are in a dangerous area, low-lying area, which is most of Louisiana. And those that are not, I guess at this point, just hunker down and hope for the best. This is a big storm, and it's going to have wide-ranging effects. Mississippi is likely going to get hit pretty hard, especially along the coast, as it's in the northeastern quadrant of the storm. And that is where the worst wind and storm surge comes. Now, this is an oddly shaped storm, and the top half of the storm has just been decimated by dry air. And it's kind of, if you look at it, it's kind of got a flat top. And so the wind may not be as bad this time around for the Gulf, especially the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but the storm surge should still be there. So all interests along the Mississippi coast should take note and stay on alert. Now, again, this is starting to slow down, and it could slow down further. So this is going to be it's supposed to make landfall Tuesday night, and the conditions will last all of Tuesday night and probably much of Wednesday. This area is going to be getting hammered by this storm, and that segues me to the other big story. The Republican National Convention, which is supposed to convene Tuesday after they opened today, then they had immediate recess they opened yesterday and went to an immediate recess until today. Well, today they're supposed to kick off. Big speeches from Ann Romney, Chris Christie, Rick Santorum. But the question becomes, how much attention are they going to grab with the whole country watching this storm hit? And there's been talk of what kind of tone they'll set. They're worried about the optics of having this convention with a big disaster hitting New Orleans, this is almost 7 years to the day that Katrina hit. So they're walking a tightrope really with that. And it is 7 years to the day. I believe Katrina hit August 29th, and it is August 28th, and it is expected to make landfall today or tonight. Tonight or tomorrow. It could actually make landfall at the same time. And it is following a very similar track. It's almost eerie how similar that storm is. And the Republican officials are weary of that. And the optics of holding their convention, this big celebration, while New Orleans is getting hammered again by a hurricane as it was 7 years ago. But they've got a good lineup of speakers for tonight. Ann Romney is the one most people are looking towards. She's supposed to help humanize Mitt Romney and make him look, he's got this issue connecting with voters, because he's this rich guy and he's just kind of robotic and he looks like he's out of the 50s. And that's where she's supposed to come in. She polls higher than he does, as, the wives of presidential candidates usually do. Michelle Obama polls much higher than Barack Obama right now. So that's her job, to humanize Mitt Romney and to make him more likable. And he does, like I said, if you just see news highlights, you wouldn't know, but I've been watching, all these specials they've been putting out this past week. MSNBC did one last Friday night, and Fox News Sunday had him on. And he seems like a very likable guy, and people that know him personally say he is. He's very nice. He's a very likable guy, and that's what they've got to get out there. Thus far, he's just wanted to talk about the economy, and of course, the Obama campaign has just been hammering him, and so he's been on the defensive all summer. But this is what they really have to do at this convention, is show that likable side. This is a guy, he's a strict Mormon. He doesn't drink alcohol. Now, I've heard some don't drink caffeine. I don't know if that's the case with him, but it's a very straight-laced guy, very family-oriented, and if you saw the special, you saw a little bit of that, and you saw especially that interview this weekend with Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday. You really got a nice look inside the family life. Of course, it was an interview, so it may not be what they act like all the time, but like I said, very nice guy, seemed like. That's what they've got to get out there to the public if they want to get him elected, because as much as we all want to pretend policy is what matters most, we all know it's likability is a huge factor. And right now, President Obama still enjoys high personal likability. People like him personally, or they say they do. It's just, the economy is still bad. It's still weak. Things have gotten a lot better since when he first took office. He was handed a bad setup, and the situation has improved, but it isn't good enough. People are still pessimistic, and that is why the polls are tight. If he had turned this all the way around, it'd be a landslide right now, but he hasn't. So, but again, the likability thing, people, will want to give him another chance because they like him personally. And, his policies, he's made a play at large blocks of voters. Women, he polls very highly with women. Minorities, he polls very high. A stunning poll put out by NBC the other day. He has 94% of the African American vote. That's not that surprising. Mitt Romney has 0%. That is pretty surprising. Well, and I shouldn't say surprising. It's kind of shocking, just to see those numbers. But after the speech he gave at the NAACP, it's not actually surprising. You could have guessed that. He really hasn't courted the African American vote. Not surprisingly, because Barack Obama, as the first black president, just simple statistical measure would tell you he's going to get a lot of that vote. And it's understandably so. But 0%, that's not good for Mitt Romney. He should be doing better than 0%. Barack Obama has a 94%. He should be at least going for, 2, 4, 6%. I think Reagan carried 10% of the African American vote even. So that's not good. But Obama, like I said, he's put in policies. He put in that recent immigration policy where he's not going to deport you if you're if you were brought to this country before the age of 16. That's going to play very well with Hispanics, who, while most Hispanics, they don't approve of illegal immigration or illegal immigrants, especially, those who came here legally and had to go through the process and all that. They don't approve of illegal immigrants, but they don't like this nasty talk you hear from the hard right on illegal immigrants. They are people, and this talk of, toss them out of the country and all this, that does not play well. And, especially kids, it's just, it's very cruel. And Obama's policy, it's actually kind of like a version of the DREAM Act, which failed in Congress because of Republican filibusters and whatnot. But, it promotes keeping kids that were brought here before the young age of 16. If they go to college and they do this and do that, they can stay. And that's going to play well with moderates as well. It seems like a sensible policy. It's not a kid's fault if they came to this country illegally before the age of 16. It's not like they would have much control in the matter. So, and of course, the women's vote. That whole contraceptive issue earlier this year, and now this Todd Akin controversy. The Republican Party has just locked themselves into some positions that are very unpopular with large segments of the population, with immigration, with women. The African American vote has more to do, obviously, with Obama being an African American. The first African American president, it wasn't realistic to think a Republican or anybody going against him was going to get much of that vote. as understandably so, the African American community is very proud of their first president, the first African American president, historic. So, but the other groups, Romney really needed to make inroads in, and they just haven't done enough. Just you can't oppose what others are saying and say, "Oh no, we're really the party of women." The Obama's waging a war on women. That's not public perception, and that's not reality. And again, the positions they've chosen, it's one thing to be pro-life, but now the party has shifted so much to where they are against abortion even in cases of rape and incest, and it's just, that's a brutal topic to try to navigate when you're dealing with that abortion, and then you throw in rape, and that's what got Todd Akin in trouble, as he tries, you're trying to dodge your way in through there, and that's not a good place to be. That's not an easy argument to make, and it's hurt them in the polls, and it's probably going to hurt them in the election if they don't tone that down. But now there's news that their platform is going to have a stance that says they're against abortion even in cases of rape and incest, and after the Todd Akin controversy, that's not good. Not good at all. And again, that just draws attention away. It's funny because in 2004, it seemed it was the Republicans, even 2000 and 2004, the Republicans were running on social issues and trying to go away from everything else, other things that were not in favor. And now it's completely the opposite. Now Democrats are the ones that want to run on the social issues. It tells you how much American politics can flip upside its head. And now Democrats are the ones pushing, the war on women and the immigration reform issues. That is quite a flip. You remember, it was, I can't even remember, what was it, George Bush ran on. That's one thing I don't get now thinking about it. Why, Republicans run so hard on anti-abortion. They had control of the presidency and both houses of Congress for 6 years, and the abortion situation did not change. So it kind of baffles me that is on the platform, and that is the big issue. It doesn't change no matter whether they have power or not. They had 6 years of uninterrupted rule of Washington. All three branches of the government. They had control of the Supreme Court, control of the Congress, control of the White House, and it doesn't change. So it almost seems like this is an issue they just, keep on the table to keep the base, keep the religious right in with the group, keep them fired up. But I don't know. I definitely think we need to be getting into more. I think important issues like the economy should be the priority right now. Mitt Romney says that's what he wants to talk about, and I agree. That's what needs to be talked about, the economy. We don't need to be dealing with the social issues. Now, I would say immigration is important and should be talked about. But, again, the abortion argument that we are going on, Roe v. Wade was 30 years ago, over 30 years ago, and nothing changes. So we need to focus on the problems that we can fix now, and that's namely the economy, which is still stuck in neutral as we speak. The stock market even went down today, I believe, a little bit, as investors wait to hear from the Federal Reserve. That's the big thing now. It seems like we're just waiting for the Federal Reserve to step in with more quantitative easing. And until it does, I think it's just going to keep meandering, which the stock market now is about almost to its high. It's only 1,000 points off, I think, its record close. So the stock market's improved, but the employment situation has not. We are still at over 8% unemployment, and that is not good. That is not a good situation. Well, that is going to wrap up today's show. Tomorrow night we will have coverage after the first night of the Republican convention, as well as coverage of Isaac's landfall. I am in the area that will be affected, not Louisiana, but close enough. And we will possibly have video as well on the website. So check back in tomorrow and we'll have more info for you.